averages from some frequency tables then. Well, let's do that in a minute. Let's first of all start off with just doing some basic kind of finding the mean, the median, the mode and the range. I'm not going to say anything about that other than here's your data. I want you to find those three averages and of course the range, which is a measure of spread for this data here, these data. And well, pause the video, find those answers and then unpause when you're done. Okay, we're done. Let's unpause. Let's see. Well, first of all, the mode. The mode is the most common value, the one that appears the most. Well, there's a 6 there, and there's a 6 there. So that means that the most common value is 6. It's the one that appears the most, right? The mean, add them all up, and divide by how many there are. Well, let's first of all add these up. We've got 5 plus 6 is 11, plus another one is 12, 13, 14. So if you add these all up, it equals 20. So the mean is going to be 20 divided by how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which means the mean in this case is a whole number and it's 4. The median, the middle value, but they have to be in size order. So you have to put them in order first. So let's do that. 1, 2, 5, 6 and then 6. And then it's usually quite common just to cross them off. But you have to cross them off in pairs. So the biggest and smallest, the biggest and smallest, and then see what's in the middle. And in this case, it's a single number on its own, and it's a 5. So the median value is 5. And then the range. Now, the range isn't an average. The top three are averages. The range is just how spread out the data is. So you do the biggest value, which is 6, take away the smallest value, which in this case is 1, which means my range is 5. It just tells me how spread out everything is. Okay, hopefully that's a good reminder. Now I've put that information up at the top there because it'll be kind of useful for what we're doing. Because what we're going to look at now is where we've got a table of information. Now this table here is a table of star ratings for an album on iTunes. You know, the sort of thing, you have this sort of thing where people just rate it from 1 star up to 5, yeah? And so here we are. Now I've put them actually from the smallest star rating up to the biggest, even though Amazon and iTunes all like to have their 5 stars at the top. For a table, it kind of makes more sense to have it the other way. But what we're going to do would work either way. So what we got? Well, first of all, let's work out some averages. Oh, no, let's talk about what the table means first, actually. So star rating. So 2 people gave it 1 star, 3 people gave it 2, 4 people gave it 3 stars, 12 people gave it 4, and 8 people gave it 5, right? Okay. So if we were going to write these out in a big long row, and I'll show you why I'm going to do that in a minute, but let's just imagine that actually this data hasn't been grouped together like this, but it's actually just one long stream. So the first 2 people gave it 1 star, then the next 3 people gave it 2 stars, the next 4 people gave it 3 stars, then we've got 12 people who all follow each other, they're very boring, they all give it 4 stars, and then there are 8 people that gave it 5 stars, who were a band from the 80s. Right, so let's start working on some averages then. What the mode? Well, the mode's kind of obvious, isn't it? It's still the most common value. So which one has the highest frequency? It's not like, you know, which one appears most in the star ratings, because there's only one of each, right? It's which one has the biggest frequency, which just means how many. So the mode in this case is 4 because it appears 12 times. Straightforward, yeah? Now the mean, we know that the mean is add them all up and divide by how many there are. Right, well let's first of all think about what this column here is. This column here is how many. Frequency means, you know, how many of each thing. Yeah? And so if I want to know how many there are, well I just need to add up this column. So 2 plus 3 is 5, plus the 4 is 9. In fact, I've got my calculator here. Why am I doing this? Let's just add it up. I'm a bit tired. It's been a long day. 29. There are a total of 29 people doing star ratings. But how about adding them all up? Well, to add them all up, I need to kind of, you know, add this long stream of data up. Now, usually, we wouldn't bother writing this out. I mean, imagine a table that had, like, say, 160 people giving it 5 stars. That would be an awful lot of things to write out. There must be a quicker way. Well, let's do this. We add another column. And this column, we do the star rating. So whatever, I've put this as X. So whatever this value is, times by the frequency. Because if 2 people gave it 1 stars, well, between those, that is a total of 2 stars. 1 times 2. Yeah. And then there are 3 people that gave it 2 stars. Well, that's a total of 6, isn't it? Which is 2 lots of 3. And then the 4 people that gave it 3 stars. Well, that's, 4 lots of 3, which is 12. You put this extra column in and you multiply whatever this category is over here by the frequency. So 4 lots of 12 is 48. And then 5 lots of 8 is 40. This is the sort of subtotals of how many stars they got in total. So you have to add all of that up, he says. And I'm talking slowly because I'm putting it in my calculator. And that is 108 stars in total, right? If I added all these numbers up, I get 108. So the mean is still, add them all up, divide by how many there are. But to do that, you need to put this extra column in to get these little subtotals first. So the mean is 108 divided by 29, which is going to give us a horrible decimal, but that doesn't matter because the calculator is going to do the work. And I'm going to put it to, say, 2 decimal places, 3.72 stars, and that was to 2 dp in this case. Right, so you have to put an extra column to get the mean. Moving on. What about the median? Now the median is the middle number. Now that's fine if I've written them all out like this, and I could cross off the biggest and the smallest. I could do biggest, smallest. I could do biggest, smallest, biggest, smallest. Now even with this small set of numbers, that's going to take a long time. There must be an easier way to find where the middle value is. I guess you could probably guess it's going to be 4, but what if there's an awful lot of data? And it comes down to this. You need to know what position it is. Because it's always going to be the center value. You just need to know how many values there are. But we have to do a odd little thing for this. We have to find the position, and you do it like this. Let's go back. You have to write down how many things there are. Well, that's the total frequency. And you can't just halve that to get the middle position. Now, I'll show you why in a minute. Or actually, let's do it now. Imagine there are 3 things. And I just halved that. Well, that would give me 1.5. Well, if I've got 3 things, the middle one is the second one. It's not the 1.5 position, it's the second one. So you have to do this. You have to add 1 to it first. Now 3 plus 1 is 4, divided by 2, tells me that I'm after the second position, which is what this would be. All right? That's just me explaining, so we can ignore all that. Right, but over here, my median position, you take the total frequency and add 1 to it, and then halve it. And that gives you the position of the middle number. Now 29 plus 1 is 30. Divide that by 2 is 15. Now the median isn't 15, but it's the 15th thing. It's the 15th item along my list. So frequency, add 1 to it, divide it by 2. That tells you where to find it. Now you can then, if I just change colour on this, you can use your table. This sounds like a lot of information, but once you've got it in your head, it doesn't take that long. I'm going to do what we call the cumulative frequency. I'm going to add up my frequency as I go, not just an end total. I'm going to add up as I go. Well, the first one has a total of 2. And then I'm going to add 3 to it, so I've got 5. Then I'm going to add 4 to it to get 9. Add 12 to it to get 21. Add 8 to it to get 29. And that's the end, right? So I can then, all I need to do is find out where my 15th thing is. Because look, they're already in order. The smallest 2 are here. Then the next 3 things are here. That's 5 things. And then the next 4 things here. Now the 15th is in there. It's in this particular column. It's in this particular row here. Because it's between the 9th and the 21st. It's somewhere between those. I don't actually care which one it is. I just need to know what row it's in. And in this case, it's in that row which has a 4-star rating. Okay? So you find the position by adding 1 to the frequency divided by 2, and then do your cumulative frequency to find out where it is. It takes a lot longer to describe than it does to do. And lastly, the range. Now the range is quite easy. You just do the difference between the biggest and smallest values. Now that's not the biggest and smallest frequency, but the biggest and smallest category. And my biggest category is 5, so my smallest category is 1, so my range is 4. Right, let's recap those little bits of information. Right, the mode, the most common value. Just find the one with the highest frequency and write down the category. Median, add a new column, multiply, the category by the frequency to get the subtotals, and then add all those up and divide it by that total frequency. So extra column, multiply across, add them all up, divide by how many there are. Median, find the position of the median value, so total frequency plus 1, and then halve it. That tells you where to find it, and then use the cumulative frequency to locate which category the median's in. We're just trying to find which row it's in, and you just write down what that row is, what the category is, what row. And then lastly, the range, the difference between the largest category and the smallest category. In this case, it was 5 stars, take away 1 star, is a difference of 4 stars. Okay, right. You might want to screenshot that. You might want to just write down some notes on it because you're going to need them now, because here's a question for you to do. Here's some more star ratings, which for some reason I've written the other way up, but that's not going to matter. They are still in order. We've just done biggest to smallest, not smallest to biggest. It will still work. All right, pause the video. I want you to find the mean, median, mode, range, whatever, in that order that's written at the top there. Unpause when you're done. Now, if you struggle, you can always then watch the next bit. Just keep pausing as you go. But anyway, pause for now. Okay, we've unpaused. So let's first of all do the mode. Now, as I say, excuse me, sorry. If you struggled, then you could always just get a little hint, pause the video, see if you can work it out before you then unpause it and carry on, yeah, if you've struggled before. Now, the mode is the one with the biggest frequency. That is this one, which is 28. So it's a 5-star rating is the mode, the most common rating. Mean, okay, well, if I'm going to do the mean, I need to, first of all, add another column. And we're going to do our category times by the frequency. So I need to do 5 times by 28, which is 140. I need to do 4 lots of 18, which is 72. Oops, that is a 2. That's rubbish 2, isn't it? Never mind. 3 lots of 5, which is 15. 2 lots of 2, which is 4. 1 lot of 6, which is 6. Okay. Then I need to know, firstly, what is that, the total of that column? So 140 plus 72 plus 15 plus 4 plus 6, which is 237. And then I need to know my total frequency. 5 plus 2 plus 6 is 59. And then my mean is the total of that extra column divided by the total amount of things, so the total frequency, which is, to 2 decimal places, 4.02. I didn't tell you what decimal places to put it to, so as long as it's something reasonable and you've rounded correctly, that's fine. Next one, the median. Now the median, remember, we need to find out the position first. So the median position is the total frequency, add 1 to it, and divide by 2. Now that's 60 divided by 2, which is the 30th position. So do your cumulative frequency. I like doing it in a different colour pen. So first of all, there's 28 things. Then we add to that 18 things, which is 46. Add another 5 things to get 51. And then add another 2 things to get 53. Another 6 things to get 59. Right, we're after the 30th one. Where is it? Well, the first 28 are in this row here. The next 2 is in here. The 30th one is somewhere in this category, isn't it? It's somewhere in there, because the 29th up to the 46th ratings are all there, and they're all 4 stars. So my median is 4, and I don't know why I've written it in red, but there we go. Doesn't matter. So we've done the median. I found the position. I found which row that was in. And then the range, the difference between the biggest and smallest. Well, the biggest category is 5. Take away the smallest of 1, which is 4 stars. It's still a 4-star difference there. Okay, cool. Well, hopefully you got that right. If you didn't, you're going to get loads more practice. Because here's another one. This is ages of children at a party. I want you to figure this one out, please. Look, oh, the frequencies look similar to last time, but the ages are different, so it's going to make totally different answers. Right, pause the video, unpause when you're done. Okay, I have unpaused. That was quite quick, wasn't it? I bet I caught you out there. Right, firstly, the mode, the one with the biggest frequency. Well, that's the top one. That's age 13. So age 13 is the mode, because it's the one there's most of. Apparently lots of young people went to this party. The mean, well, we need an extra column. We need to do the category times the frequency. So 13 times by the frequency of 28, which is going to be quite big. That is 364. And then we need 14 lots of 18, which is 252. We need 5 lots of 15, which is 75. 16, or 2 lots of 16, which is 32. 6 lots of 17, which is 102. And let's add up that column. So 364 plus 252 plus 75 plus 32 plus 102 is 825. If you add up all their ages, you get 825 years old. 28 plus 18 plus 5 plus 2 plus 6 is 59. Actually, it's because it was the same frequencies as last time. I'm not sure this is a real question. They might not even be real people. So the mean is, add them all up, so that's 825 years, divided by the total frequency of 59. So 59 is, horrible decimal, 13.98 to 2 decimal places. And again, I didn't say what accuracy to use, as long as you've done something reasonable. What about the median, the middle person? How old is the middle person? Well, first of all, let's find the position. So let's do the total frequency, add 1, and then halve it. And that is going to be the 30th position again. Not much of a surprise there, because it's the same total frequency. Where is the 30th person? Well, the first 28 people are all age 13. The next one is age 14, and so is the next one. The 30th is in here. So they are 14 years old, the median person, the middle person. And lastly, the range, difference between the oldest person and the youngest. So 17, take away 13, is 4 years. I'm just going to put years for the sake of it there. There's an age difference of 4 years. That's how spread out they are. They're all quite close together, aren't they? Okay, getting the idea? How about we do one more? This is shoe size. You're loving this, I can tell. Right, pause the video, unpause when you're done. Oh, we are done. Let's go. Right, the mode. The mode is the most common. Well, which shoe size has the biggest frequency? It's a close run thing, but it's 4. Doesn't matter that 3 is close. 4 has the highest frequency, so it's that. The mean. You need an extra column to do your subtotals. Remember, there are 6 people with size 2. That's 6 lots of 2, which is 12. There are 12, well, not add, that's times. 12 lots of people with shoe size 3. Well, that's, add that all up, that's 36. 4 lots of 13 is, of course, 52. Pays to know your 13 times table. 5 lots of 7 is 35. And then 2 lots of size 6 is obviously 12. Okay, then you need to add those up to get the total of the shoe sizes. Here's 147. Isn't that something to do with snooker, I think? Okay, total frequency, 6 plus 12 plus 13 plus 7 plus 2 is 40. So the mean, add them all up, 147. Now a common mistake here is to add up, sort of, go 1, 2, 3. There are 5 rows, so divide it by 5. You must get that total frequency. That's how many people there were. There weren't 5 people. There were 40 people. There's just 5 different shoe sizes. Anyway, 147 divided by 40 is, I'm just going to write all of this down because it's only 3 decimal places, 3.675. So the average shoe size is nearly 4. What about the median? Well, first of all, we need to know the position. Which person are we after? I'll do the total frequency, add 1, and then, oh, frequency was 100, it was 40, wasn't it? So 40 plus 1, and then halve it. Well, that is 20.5. It's somewhere between the 20th and the 21st person. Yeah? So we need to find out where that person is. Let's do the cumulative frequency. There are 6 people there. Then we've got 12 more people. That makes 18. Then we need 13 more people. That makes 31. And then 7 more makes 38. 2 more makes 40. So where is the person we're after? We're after the one that's halfway between the 20th and the 21st. Well, that might sound tricky, but look, the 18 people come up to here. The 19th is in this one, the 20th is in this one, the 21st, all the way up to the 31st. The person we're after is in this category, whichever way you look at it. And so the median shoe size is, I'm filling for time whilst I change colour here, 4. Size 4. Okay? And the range. What's the biggest shoe size? It's 6. What's the smallest shoe size? It's 2. The range is also 4 as well. That's a nice and easy one to do. Okay. Right, I think you've cracked it. I think it's time for you to fly on your own and to do these 2. I'll give you the answers in a minute. I want you to really, really have a go. If necessary, look back through some notes. Otherwise, just go for it. You'll notice that to make it a bit easier, the frequencies are the same on these, but the categories, the X value is different. But anyway, pause the video, work out the answers, unpause when you're done. We have unpaused. Okay, answers are, the mode for the first one is 3. The mean, well, if you do your extra column, multiply across, add them up, you get 61. There's a total frequency of 20, so the mean is 3.05. The median position, well, 20, add 1 to it and divide by 2. The 10th and a half position, the 10th and a half person. Well, if you do your cumulative frequency, so 2, 7, that's a 7, by the way, apparently. Let's just scrap that out, put a proper 7. And then another 6 is 13, and then 17, another 3 is 20. 10th and a half is in this category here, so the median is 3. The range is 5, take away 1, so the biggest, take away smallest, so it's 4. And the last one, the mode is 20. It's got the biggest frequency. The mean, do your extra column, multiply across, add them up, you get 405. Divide it by the total frequency, so 20.25. The median position is the same position because it's the same frequencies. So we can find out that the median is 20. It's somewhere in that category there. Then the range is the biggest. Take away the smallest, which is 20. Okay, well done. Good work. I think you can put your pen down now and maybe go and sit in a darkened room for a bit. Okay, right, well done. I'll see you again next time.